There are very few things in the world that say gaming like spending a stupid amount of money on plastic that will be obsolete in 7 to 8 years to play a bunch of games that will probably be disappointing. If there are two things that gamers will always be phenomenal at, it's being disappointed and spending their money foolishly. So when a new mediocre piece of plastic gets announced that costs $400 to $500, whose game library consists largely of more expensive versions of games that are also available on current gen machines they already own, well, that's what they call a double kill. And since it's almost Crimbus time and Black Friday is right around the corner, I think now is as good a time as any to discuss the idea of buying a new console. Now for gamers, buying the new machine is kind of an inevitability because eventually they're gonna stop making games for the current hardware. Right now, the two big consoles I don't have are the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. As I try desperately to get a handle on being an adult, I'm always wondering if I should buy one of these things, and at least currently, the answer has usually been no. Even though the hype for these consoles is alive and well with their 120K 4 FPS or whatever, I can't really get excited for that primarily because I don't have a 4K television. Like I've said before, FOMO is one of those things that doesn't usually seem to affect me. Whenever something new comes out, there's always a tiny voice in my head that always says, yeah, you should buy it, and then a bigger voice comes in that sounds suspiciously like my father and it starts saying, Bane, if you buy this, I'm gonna smack you in the head. The only time I can remember buying a system on launch date was the 3DS, and that turned out to be a really dumb idea, because not only did it not have a lot of real games that I cared about, but stupid ass Nintendo went ahead and slashed the price not even a couple months later. That shit cost me like 300 Canadinos, and all I got out of it was a bunch of NES and GBA ROMs as part of their wonderful ambassador program. Thanks, Nintendo. While there is something special about experiencing a game at the same time as everyone else so you can avoid spoilers or perhaps share in the holy shit moments, some of my best gaming experiences happened long after the game in question was released. I didn't seriously start playing Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild until this year. I still haven't done a single full playthrough of Undertale, which came out an eternity ago. I didn't start playing Metal Gear until around 2013, and those games were still better than 90% of the games that were coming out at the time. What came out in 2013? What are we talking about? Last of Us? Nobody cares about that. If a game is honestly, truly, really good, you should still be able to enjoy it even if you don't play it the second it comes out. A big part of it is missing out on the hype, which can be very addicting. That collective, holy fucking shit, they made another video game, no way! But I guess I'm kind of immune to that too. I mean, the last thing that really hyped me like crazy was Banjo and Smash. Otherwise, buying a new console is usually something I can put off until it establishes itself, because until it does, paying that much money up front for something that will maybe have good games down the road, well, that's a bit of a gamble in my book. With the PlayStation 4, I mostly mooched off of other people for a while. I didn't get my own until late 2019 at a Black Friday sale. At that point, it was only about 300 Canadian, which doesn't sound like a spectacular deal, except that it was included with God of War 2018, Horizon Zero Dawn, and another copy of The Last of Us Remastered. Thank you, Sony. I needed another copy of The Last of Us. I'm building a computer desk out of them. The PS4 would turn out to be the perfect case study for abstaining from buying a console at launch. The biggest reason you buy a console is because of the games, and on that front, the PS4 is what we call a late bloomer. Its library at the beginning was very underwhelming. The best consoles usually have a shitload of amazing titles coming out within the first year of launch, like the PS2 had like 1 billion system sellers by the time the competition came out. The only exclusives I remember the PS4 having in the beginning were Resogun and fucking Knack. This game was positioned as the game that demonstrated the PS4's technology, and it's a shallow as fuck fake platformer thingy that runs at an unlocked frame rate. This game makes me sad whenever I see it. The only reason I even remember it is the same reason everybody else does, because of fucking Donkey Man. That is Knack's legacy. It is a punchline. But Knack 2, on the other hand, a couple years later, I remember they had this game called The Order 1886, which had extremely good graphics and could be beaten in 5 hours. The first exclusive game that was actually worth the full price tag for a lot of people was Uncharted 4, and once that game came out, the dominoes started to fall, at which point the console had already been out for a few years and was now more affordable than it was previously. Even though I didn't get to play all those games the second they came out, I did get to play them eventually, and for less money. Right now, the PS5 has Ratchet & Clank and a couple of remasters as far as I can tell. None of these are bad, but I'm not about to beat an old lady with a stick in the middle of Best Buy just to get one. That is, if you can even find one at Best Buy. Supply issues have always been an issue with video games. For those of you who are old enough to remember when the Wii was launching in 2006, you might recall that getting one of these consoles was fucking impossible, and this could be chalked up to the fact that it was extremely popular and the fact that Nintendo is kinda infamous for supply issues. I remember my mom calling like 20 different stores a day trying to get it in time for Christmas, and then when Christmas came, she wrote me and my other baby shits a fucking IOU for a Wii. That was a good Christmas. And then after that, it would take like 5 entire months until we got one. In the last few years, we've got a new issue on our hands. Scalpers. We got these fucking wise guys buying hundreds of PS5s and cleaning out the shelves just so they can flip them for more money than they bought them for. And it feels like the companies ain't doing shit all about it. I mean, why would they, right? Someone's buying the consoles, so it doesn't matter. And now they're even scalping graphics cards. Fucking graphics cards, dude. These motherfuckers are already like $1,200 each. I'm not buying that shit from a scalper. Now, I cannot make you do anything, but if you're watching this video, I am begging you, when the next big console comes out, please don't buy from scalpers. You might think it'll be better to get it as soon as possible at the expense of more, expenses, but I'm here to give you some old man advice. It won't be. So if I ever catch you out here buying that shit, I'm gonna look at you very disapprovingly, like the owl from Zelda. And on top of all that bullshit, apparently there are worldwide microchip shortages. If supply issues weren't already a dick nozzle, they're about to get a hell of a lot worse by my estimate. It's gonna go from 2 bad to 5 bad. It'll be Xbox One times 100. That's Xbox 100. Sometimes I can't help but feel that 95% of the greatest video games that will ever be made have already been made. Metal Gear Solid has been dead for 6 years. Mother ended in 2006. Paper Mario went from being Mario's Story to being Paper Mario. Pikmin 4 has been very close to completion since 2015. Cyberpunk 2077 turned out to be Cyberpunk 2077. Rareware makes shovelware. Rayman died for NFTs. Star Fox's last game was literally called Zero. It's not even subtle, it's right in the name. The GTA Remastered trilogy looks like a phone game designed to sucker 9-year-olds into maxing out their mom's fucking American Express. Madden and FIFA are phone games designed to sucker 9-year-olds into maxing out their mom's American Express. So why would I buy a new $500 machine when the future of gaming looks like it's just gonna be a more extreme version of this? Whenever people talk about dystopia narratives like Brave New World, 1984, or MGS2, they always go, oh my god, they predicted the future, but that's not true. What they did do was make observations about the present and made educated guesses about where it would end up. Now, I might not be as well educated or as well read as Huxley, Orwell, or Kojima, but if I were to make an educated guess as to where the gaming industry is headed based on the past and current trends...
on the shitter.
When I play a new game that doesn't even function properly or looks and plays like garbage fire, or I hear EA talking about how NFTs are going to be the future of gaming and how there's going to be blockchain-based cosmetics that you have to purchase with an exclusive NFT of Todd Howard's penis hair, that's when I go, alright, cool. Then I just go play Star Fox 64 again. Assessing all those facts, the only thing that goes through my mind is, look buddy boy, I own hundreds of games already, many of which I haven't played yet, and there are still several highly revered games that are available on consoles that I already own, or readily available on the PC that I have yet to experience. Is it really a smart idea to buy this machine right now just so I can eventually play God of War 2, which will also come out on the PS4, which I already own, and will cost $10 less, when I haven't even checked out half of my fucking Steam library yet? Like really, where are my priorities right now? I haven't even played BioShock yet. Okay, now I have. The thesis statement of this video is basically this. Slow the fuck down, cowboy. You don't have to buy the newest thing the second it comes out. I mean, you definitely can if you want, but all I'm saying is you just really don't have to. Chances are you probably have a bunch of stuff that you still haven't played on consoles you already own, and there are things you can do with that $500 that would probably be way better for your life long term. You could invest, you could save, you could open a TFSA or some shit, or you could just buy 83 Baconators. And the best part is, you can do that while also having a huge backlog of games you can play on consoles you already own. I realize I'm probably saying some variant of a lot of things that I've already said, but I am a broken record, so whatever. And at the end of the day, you know, my opinion is just my opinion, right? This isn't objectively correct, this is just my perspective. So I'm gonna wait a little bit before buying a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, and in the meantime I'm just gonna beat BioShock while eating 83 Baconators.